Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we dive into the compelling narrative of Bounce by Matthew Syed. In this insightful text, Syed dismantles the myth of innate talent as the sole path to success. Through a captivating exploration of various domains such as sports, mathematics, and music, he proposes that intensive practice and dedication are the true bedrocks of high achievement. Drawing from his own experience as an English #1 table tennis champion for nearly a decade and a two-time Olympian, Syed imbues his arguments with authenticity and personal anecdotes. Beyond his athletic prowess, he is a distinguished sports journalist for The Times and a respected commentator for BBC Sports. Bounce speaks to dreamers with lofty ambitions, skeptics of their own potential, and individuals intrigued by the dynamics of peak performance. This book also aims to guide parents who aspire to nurture successful children and those curious about the psychological pressures that can lead to the harrowing experience of choking during critical moments. Join us as we summarize the key themes and lessons of Bounce, underlining the power of persistence and the accessible nature of excellence. Whether you're setting foot on a path to mastery or seeking to understand the elements that forge a champion, Bounce offers invaluable insights and inspires a redefinition of what it means to succeed. Bounce, the myth of talent and the power of practice. Introduction. Discover the true essence of success and debunk talent myths. Have you ever stared in awe at a virtuoso pianist or a world-class athlete and muttered, "They're just so talented"? It's a default attribution we often rely on to explain exceptional performance. But Bounce invites us to think differently, suggesting that innate talent is not the superstar maker we believe it to be. As the narrative unfolds, you'll journey into the compelling studies and stories that reveal a more complex and inspiring truth about achieving top-tier performance. You'll encounter the surprising fact that when scrutinized under the microscope of rigorous practice and opportunity, legends like Mozart lose some of their mystical sheen. Moreover, you'll dive into the quirks of fate, such as having a birthday that coincides with a sports icon, which might spark a burning drive within someone to pursue similar heights of accomplishment. But what about those heart-pounding moments where, despite years of honing skills and meticulously preparing, an individual inexplicably fails under pressure? The dreaded choke. Bounce doesn't leave you in the lurch. You'll be equipped with specific strategies designed to fortify your mindset against such critical failures. So, prepare to rethink the foundation of success and unlock the practical steps toward achieving your own peak performance. Whether striving to master an instrument, aiming for gold, or pursuing excellence in any field, Bounce offers a roadmap to break the chains of the talent myth and stride confidently on the path of determined practice and growth. Part 1. Unveiling the power of practice over natural-born talent. The mystique of natural talent has long shrouded the stories of history's greatest achievers, casting them as possessors of innate, superhuman skills. The legendary Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is often emblemized as the epitome of this divine endowment, a child prodigy with a gift that transcended mere mortals. But is this notion anchored in reality, or is there something deeper at play behind Mozart's genius? As we probe deeper into the world of remarkable accomplishments, a pattern emerges that challenges the concept of born talent. It turns out that even the most awe-inspiring geniuses had to invest an inordinate amount of time honing their crafts before they could dazzle the world with their prowess. Child prodigies, like Mozart, are not exempt from this rule. By the tender age of 6, Mozart had accumulated 3,500 hours of rigorous musical training, offering an alternative explanation to his early genius. In this light, when we scrutinize his performances alongside those of his peers with similar practice hours, Mozart's abilities appear well within the realm of the attainable for dedicated individuals. Through this lens, the extraordinary begins to look a lot more ordinary. Excellence is not the result of a magical combination of genes, but the product of relentless, focused practice. Groundbreaking research in the field of expertise supports this revelation. A study scrutinizing a group of young violinists illustrates a direct correlation between practice time and skill level. Star violinists averaged around 10,000 hours of practice, whereas their less adept counterparts logged merely 4,000 hours. Defying the odds of coincidental genius, all of the top performers had invested meticulous effort in their practice schedules. Conversely, every musician who practiced for 10,000 hours was found in the top tier of performers. The takeaway here is undeniable and profound. The bedrock of exceptional skill is not an enigmatic talent, but the tangible, accessible, and powerful instrument of practice. True expertise, it seems, is hard won through the arduous and determined journey of countless hours of disciplined endeavor. Part 2. Embark on a never-ending quest to master new challenges and rise from failure. Picture a young musician, fingers dancing over the piano keys, as she learns to play her cherished melodies by heart. Those initial moments of mastery might feel satisfying, even thrilling. Yet, there's a hidden trap in these early triumphs. With each note struck correctly, the urgency to push harder, to refine further, wanes. She's good enough, and good enough becomes a sanctuary of comfort, an invisible barrier to true excellence. This behavior, comfortable as it might be, epitomizes the plateau where many of us come to rest. Whether it's a hobby, a sport, or a professional skill, we reach a level of proficiency that matches our peers, pleases our coaches, or simply satiates our own enjoyment, and there we stall. Our practice morphs into repetition, a cycle of familiar routines that ceases to challenge us, letting our growth become stagnant. But those who scale the heights of their fields, the elite performers, view good enough as merely the base camp for the next ascent. They recognize that mastery is not a destination, but a relentless pursuit. They lean into the discomfort of the unmastered, continuously setting sights on tasks just beyond their current grasp, thus sparking a fierce, focused adaptation of mind and muscle. The question then beckons: how do you escape the cozy confines of competence and charge toward continuous improvement? The answer lies in embracing failure, not as a sign to stop, but as a valuable teacher. When you tackle a challenge beyond your capacity, failure is inevitable. Nonetheless, it's in the struggle, the missteps, and the missed notes that you gain crucial insights into your abilities and shortcomings. This feedback is a compass for your practice, guiding you to adjust your training strategy and concentrate on the areas needing refinement. Embrace each failed attempt not as a defeat, but as a step on the path towards mastery. The formula for transformation, for turning the average into the exceptional, is etched in the dedication to reach for the unreachable, to meet failure with resilience, and to learn persistently through every fall and rise. Part 3. How rigorous training can rewire your brain for optimal performance. Consider a tale of an exceptional table tennis champion, Desmond Douglas, who ruled the roost in the United Kingdom with his so-called lightning-fast reflexes. It seems like a paradox when scientists discover that Douglas, in standard reaction tests, actually has slower responses than his peers. So, what's the secret behind his astonishing prowess in the swift-paced sport? Delving into the science of practice, we uncover profound changes in brain function resulting from intensive and continued skill development. With dedicated practice comes a crucial enhancement in one's ability to decipher intricate patterns and scenarios within a specific domain. In Douglas's case, his brain had become finely tuned to the nuances of table tennis play. He had developed the knack of isolating critical visual signals to anticipate the ball's path more swiftly than an average player. Despite slower general reaction times, his specialized practice granted him an advantageous window of opportunity when reacting to a speeding ping-pong ball. Furthermore, as expertise grows, the very architecture of brain activity during the execution of a skill undergoes a transformation. The journey from novice to expert requires the involvement of the prefrontal cortex, the brain's coordinator of deliberate, conscious movement. But as mastery evolves, these movements no longer demand conscious oversight. They become automated, releasing the prefrontal cortex from its supervisory role. Consequently, muscle memory takes over, allowing the brain to engage other regions in the strategic and creative facets of play. This shift in neural control is akin to a seasoned musician who no longer thinks about the mechanics of finger placement on their instrument, but rather focuses on the emotive expression of the music. In similar fashion, Douglas's intricate and habitual wrist work enabled him to dedicate mental resources to strategic calculations during matches. Understanding how practice refines Desmond Douglas's brain illuminates an intriguing principle. It is not just the quantity, but the quality and focus of your training that catalyzes brain adaptations, equipping you for peak performance. This knowledge serves as a beacon for anyone striving to sharpen a skill, be it in sports, the arts, or any area where precision and finesse are paramount. It's not just about practicing. It's about practicing with the intent to go beyond one's current limits and training the brain as much as the body. Part 4. Shift your mindset to unlock the true potential of practice over innate ability. Picture an elite marathoner breezing past the finish line, consistently among the top contenders. What's the secret to her unparalleled endurance and pace? Many would quickly attribute it to a natural aptitude for running, but those who lean on the idea of inherent talent may be victim to what psychologists call a fixed mindset, the belief that abilities are static, unchangeable traits. This fixed mindset is a psychological pitfall, limiting both potential and effort. For individuals who resign themselves to thinking they lack the gift needed for success, motivation plummets. They see practice as futile, a laborious venture not worth pursuing if they are destined to fall short of greatness due to unalterable deficiencies. Conversely, those deemed naturally gifted under this fixed mindset may feel they can coast on innate prowess, spurning the disciplined training that turns potential into mastery. The story of Darius Knight serves as a cautionary tale. A talented table tennis player, he basked in the praise for his giftedness and subsequently dialed back his training. Without the sustenance of hard work, his performance suffered. It was only when a coach steered him back towards earnest effort that his true capabilities began to resurface. This mindset doesn't merely undermine long-term success. It prompts premature capitulation at the face of obstacles. A striking example emerges from a study involving children and progressively challenging puzzles. Those with a fixed mindset saw initial struggles as proof of their intellectual ceiling, leading them to concede defeat. In contrast, their peers with growth mindsets, those who view abilities as malleable and improvable, doubled down their efforts, becoming more adept puzzle solvers as the difficulty ramped up. It's not talent, but tenacity, perseverance, and passion that should earn accolades. When we celebrate these qualities in our children, we foster a growth mindset that powers them through adversity and invigorates their pursuit of excellence, encouraging a belief in the transformative power of effort over the myth of preset abilities paves the way for not just enhanced skill acquisition, but a lifelong journey of personal development and achievement. Part 5. Success stories can ignite ambition through the smallest connections. It's intriguing how the tides of success can rise from unexpected beginnings. Take the realm of professional golf, where South Korea was virtually unseen until Seripak's triumph at the LPGA Championship in 1998. Her victory was more than a personal accolade. It became a catalyst, sparking a surge of South Korean golfers into the LPGA Tour. This wasn't mere happenstance. It was the power of motivation, by association at play. There's something fascinating about the human psyche and its inclination to draw inspiration from the successes of those we perceive to be similar to us. Even the most arbitrary commonalities, such as sharing a birthday with a high achiever, can instill a belief in our potential and fuel our drive to excel. It's as if discovering threads of resemblance in someone successful weaves a tapestry of possibility for ourselves. A captivating experiment revealed the potency of this effect. Undergraduate students, poised to tackle insurmountable math puzzles, were first introduced to profiles of fictitious yet successful mathematics graduates. Those who read about a graduate sharing their own birthday were emboldened, persisting with the puzzles a staggering 65% longer than their peers. It appears that even the most insignificant of connections can enhance one's belief in their abilities, inspiring increased effort and perseverance. The sparks of ambition are not limited to shared attributes with successful individuals. Sometimes the impetus for greatness can be ignited by the simplest and most random of incidents: an offhand comment, a modest challenge. For soccer legend Mia Hamm, a decisive moment came from a coach's simple metaphor, likening the daily task of cultivating motivation to the act of flicking on a light switch. Such stories underscore that the seeds of ambition need not be grandiose or profound. They can sprout from the most ordinary of soils. They remind us that the pursuit of excellence can be kindled in anyone, anywhere, by almost anything. It requires only the recognition of a connection, however minute, to someone or something successful, or a memorable experience that leaves an indelible mark on our drive to achieve. Part 6. Belief in Victory. The key to unlocking peak performance in competition. On the brink of a contest, even amidst the throes of recent defeats, elite athletes engage in a powerful psychological ritual. They shore up an unwavering belief in their impending victory, regardless of the odds stacked against them. To bystanders, this certainty may come across as wishful thinking or even denial, but in the realm of competitive performance, such conviction is a strategic necessity, not a question of accuracy. Doubt is the insidious opponent lurking in the minds of competitors, waiting to erode performance with its jittery whispers. It manifests physically, causing muscles to tremble or tense up at crucial junctures. A golfer's putt veers off course. A gymnast's equilibrium falters. Mentally, doubt scatters focus, drawing the athlete's attention away from the game, leading a football player to miss a pivotal pass, or a basketball player to overlook an open shot. The phenomenon of going blank under pressure is widespread and not confined to the sports arena. It rears its head in public speaking and other high-stakes environments where the simplest details slip away in the clutches of anxiety. To counteract this, athletes, and indeed anyone striving for high performance, must cultivate the right mindset. The psychological link between mind and body is potent, with the placebo effect being one of the most dramatic demonstrations. When individuals believe they're receiving an effective treatment, such as painkiller injections, even if it's only saline solution, their condition often improves. Such is the power of belief. In competitive sports, having faith in one's form works like an internal placebo. It sharpens concentration, calms the nerves, and refines motor control. This mental steadfastness is more than just positive thinking. It's an essential ingredient for executing under pressure and delivering a maximum performance. In the next segment, we'll unravel the mystery of why individuals sometimes crumble under the weight of expectations and explore strategies for staying strong when it counts the most. Part 7. Navigating high-stakes situations with the brain's cautious conductor. Visualize yourself clutching a glass of red wine, precariously filled to the rim, at a bustling party. Your destination? The host, standing on the other side of a pristine, white-carpeted room. Instinctively, you find your movements become exaggeratedly slow and deliberate, each step a calculated ballet. But the question beckons: why do we shift into this mode of heightened caution? To unravel this mystery, we delve into the intricate workings of the brain, composed of two distinct yet intertwined systems that control our actions. The explicit brain system, methodical and measured, springs into action when we're embarking on a new endeavor, like learning to tap dance. Each step is a conscious calculation, every movement subject to scrutiny as we diligently construct our skill set. In contrast, the implicit brain system is the maestro of habitual tasks. It guides our movements with fluid precision, barely requiring a conscious thought. It's as if we're on autopilot, performing complex actions or even multitasking with ease. The seasoned driver cruising without mulling over the mechanics of each turn and shift. Once a skill is mastered, the implicit system takes the wheel, leaving our focus free to roam towards new challenges or enjoy the scenery. However, when the stakes are raised and the risk of failure looms large, our mental gears shift back to the explicit system. The spotlight of our attention narrows, micromanaging our actions to evade error. In the context of our party predicament, the reason you switch back to the explicit system is clear. Spilling wine would be a faux pas of catastrophic proportions. Just as in high-pressure moments where athletes or performers might feel the crushing weight of expectations, the fear of failure steers us to this cautious state. Our brain prioritizes precision and control, even at the expense of the smooth, instinctive grace governed by our implicit system. Understanding this dichotomy of the brain's cautious approach during high-stakes moments exposes the reflexive guardrails we erect to avert disaster. But awareness of this mental shift can also be the key to navigating such pressure with grace and composure. Part 8. Master the art of staying cool under pressure by playing down the stakes. Imagine an elite athlete poised to etch their name in the annals of history, their body and mind finely honed through relentless training. Yet, when the critical moment arrives, perhaps the final sprint in a race or a decisive penalty kick, all that skill seems to evaporate. This perplexing and often devastating collapse is known as choking, a phenomenon that sees an experienced performer regress to a novice's level at the worst possible time. It boils down to a battle between the brain's systems when under the intense spotlight of competition. Under ordinary circumstances, an athlete's well-trained implicit brain system directs their actions smoothly, without the need for conscious thought. But when the pressure mounts and the fear of failure becomes palpable, the explicit brain system wrestles back control, micromanaging tasks it's no longer equipped to handle efficiently. This shift can be arresting to the point where complex, fluid movements disintegrate into clumsy, disjointed actions. The expert, once capable of effortlessly integrating myriad skills, suddenly finds themselves mired in the mental equivalent of a traffic jam. The solution to this adverse reaction lies in a mental trick, convincing oneself that the outcome of the event is not as crucial as it seems. Athletes can adopt a coping mechanism by mentally diminishing the competition's significance, therefore alleviating the pressure and enabling their implicit system to take charge once again. The author shares a personal strategy for coping with the immense stress of competition. By reflecting on the larger, more important aspects of life such as relationships, health, or family. This broader perspective helps to minimize the competition's mental weight, reducing anxiety, and allowing the body to perform as the well-oiled machine of muscle memory and instinct that it is. The paradox at the heart of peak performance is profound. While athletes must treat their discipline with utmost seriousness to develop their skills, they must also learn to underplay its significance when it matters most, to prevent the mind from undermining the body's capabilities. This delicate balancing act between passion and perspective is essential for anyone seeking to thrive under the intense glare of the spotlight. Final summary. What divides the great from the merely good? Bounce illuminates the road to excellence, veering away from the well-trodden path of innate talent myths and directing us towards the rigorous avenues of practice and determination. True mastery in any discipline is a result of purposeful and relentless endeavor, not a gift handed down through our DNA. Beyond just practice, the book underscores the transformative influence of a robust mindset. Believing that mastery is attainable through effort is crucial. Accepting and learning from setbacks, refining your strategies, and not being deterred by the fear of failure all fuel the journey to the top. Here are some steps to set into motion. Celebrate effort over innate ability with your children. To foster resilience and a growth mindset in the young, emphasize the value of their determination and the hard work they put in. Applaud their dedication and the effort they exert in overcoming challenges, rather than labeling them as naturally talented. Adopt perspective to prevent performance paralysis. When the pressure of performance mounts, counteract the chokehold of stress by assessing the true significance of the event. Remind yourself of the enduring aspects of life, your health, your loved ones, your passions, that eclipse the weight of any single performance. By doing so, you dampen the anxiety and unlock your capacity to perform with the grace and fluidity that can only come from the implicit brain system. Bounce equips us with the insight that expertise is accessible to all who are willing to travel the rigorous path of intentional practice. It wraps our hands around the belief that the towering peaks of achievement are within our reach if we dare to stride forth, guided by perseverance, informed by setbacks, and undaunted by the specter of failure. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.